Let's learn how to clean and oil a top-loading sewing machine. I'm using the Janome 625E because it's one of my favorites, but these techniques can be applied to any top-loading sewing machine. Let's get right into it. Here's everything you need. A screwdriver, a cleaning brush, a clean piece of lint-free fabric. I like to use old t-shirt scraps, Q-tips, and sewing machine oil. Not WD-40, not 3-in-1, sewing machine oil. First things first, you're going to turn off your machine, unplug it, and remove the upper and the lower thread. Next, we're going to remove the needle, the presser foot and the ankle, as well as the needle plate. Next, you want to pluck out the bobbin case. You should be able to just grab it with your 2 fingers, pull it up from the front like that, and out. Now, some machines have an extra little guard here, which prevents you from pulling out the bobbin case. Unfortunately, it means that your machine's manufacturer does not want you taking full care of your machine. The first thing we're going to clean are the tension discs, which are in here. Now, the first thing you want to do, lift up that presser foot. That's going to spread the discs apart so that you can get between them to clean. Now, take a folded piece of clean lint-free fabric. Again, old t-shirts work great. And I'm just going to floss it through that slot inside of the tension discs. And we're just getting any dirt or debris or anything that's between them nice and cleaned. Sometimes bits of thread can get caught in there, messes up your tension, and that's all. Okay, now we're gonna clean all of this area. We're gonna start from the top down, needle bar first, and I like to just take a little Q-tip and just get all the little bits of dirt and fluff that kind of collect around here. Just give it a once over, just get that nice and clean first of all. Now we're going to focus on the bobbin area. If you have a lot of fluff, you're going to take your brush and you're going to get it out in sort of an upwards and forward motion towards you. What you don't want to do is just brush randomly, and that's going to push things further into the machine. So you want to bring it in a kind of up and out motion. Get as much as you can with that. Now I'm going to give it a once over just with a Q-tip. The Q-tip, especially on the inside of the hook here, this can get a lot of those little bits that get left behind by the brush. I'm going to do the same thing with the bobbin case. Just take a Q-tip and just give it a once over all around. Just get it nice and clean. Doesn't have to be too thorough. We're just getting all that loose dust off of there. Now that everything's clean, we're going to do a little bit of oiling. The first thing I want to mention is less is more. A teeny tiny drop of oil, that's all your sewing machine needs. A lot of the times, manufacturers will tell you not to oil your machine. This is more of a liability issue because if they say you can oil, people are going to dump oil on it, break their machines, and then blame the manufacturer. So less is more. Now, the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to bring the needle bar down to the lowest position, and I'm going to put a tiny drop of oil just on the needle bar here. Doesn't matter where, as long as it's far up here. A tiny little drop, like so. And now I'm just going to crank the hand wheel a few times just to get that oil worked in there. It'll work itself where it needs to go. Now, the second place we're going to oil is the center of the hook. A lot of machines have a little opening here with an oil wick inside. You'll see it's like a little, looks like a candle wick. Do not pull this out. That is meant to be stationary. All you need to do is put 1 drop of oil on it. It will soak down into the bottom of the machine and lubricate where it needs to. Now for these machines, we don't have that here, but if you notice, this piece is stationary and the rest of the hook moves around it. So that's a friction point. And what you can do is put 1 little drop of oil right in between where they sort of friction against each other, and that will give the machine a nice bit of lubrication. Once again, move that around a few times to get that oil worked in. The last spot we're going to oil is this little shelf or this little ledge, whatever you want to call it. This is where the bobbin case actually sits on. The bobbin case is stationary, the hook moves around it. That's another important friction point. And so literally less is more. And I'm going to put a little drop of oil there. Now you see I did too much. And this is a good time to show you. You can just take a little Q-tip, mop up that extra oil. You just need the tiniest bit on there. I can still see there's a tiny bit of oil on there. That's all I need. And now I'm ready to put back our bobbin case right back the way we found it. Very nice. Again, give that hand wheel a few turns, get that oil worked in. Now we're ready to reassemble the machine. Now the last thing you want to do is take a scrap piece of fabric and do a bunch of test sewing on it. This is going to do two things. It's going to make sure that that oil gets worked in where you put it. And second of all, sometimes after an oiling, the oil can show up on the fabric or on the thread. It kind of just stains the thread a little bit. So you just want to make sure that that's not going to happen on your project fabric and get that out onto the scrap. Now you're probably wondering, how often should I be doing all of this? Every 3 to 4 projects, you should clean your machine, and every 7 to 8 projects, or every few months, you should give your machine a little bit of oil. Now remember, this is not a replacement for a proper tune-up, but it'll keep your machine running smooth and problem-free in between those tune-ups.